Thanks for joining me today. This is Danny and welcome back to my modded 1.10.2 series. Today we are going to be playing with Gendustry. So in the last episode you may remember that we were trying to crossbreed our bees in order to produce the mutations that we want. And we were looking at this chart because what we want to do next is we want to make an alveary to upgrade from our aviaries for just regular forestry. And we wanted to get our imperial bees so that we can get royal jelly. It says imperial jelly, but it's really royal jelly. And our industrious bees so that we can get pollen. But the process with forestry is extremely slow and cumbersome. So we kind of saw how this process works and how much time is involved in it. And now we'll be able to compare that to what Gendustry has to offer. The first thing that I want to do with Gendustry is to make an advanced mutatron, which will allow us to it's quite a recipe, will allow us to pick our mutations that we want. And we could actually just make a regular mutatron. And the nice thing about the mutatron, basically the way this works is when you mix two bees that have a potential mutation. So for instance, we're trying to get our industrious bees, and if we look in JEI, because we have just enough forestry installed, we'll see that if we do a diligent princess and an unwary drone, we have an 8% chance of getting an industrious queen. This thing takes that away. It takes away the chance, the 8% chance part, and basically you mix those two, you're gonna get your industrious queen. However, it comes at a cost. As you can see, it's an expensive recipe in and of itself. And it also requires a lot of RF, and it also requires mutagen. So we'll have to make a mutagen producer as well, and give this thing items that it can convert into mutagen. Also, it's going to consume labware, which is this stuff right here, genetics labware. So we're going to have to make a bunch of this stuff, which requires a diamond, so it's kind of expensive, but not terribly expensive. And then of course, like I said, it's going to require RF and genetic waste. That's what happens if something goes wrong. I guess we'll first take a look at the mutatron and see what it's going to take to make this. So we've got some bronze, no big deal. And then we have these bee receptacles. Now these receptacles will hold bees in the machine for us. So let's make like a stack of bronze. We're going to be using a lot of this stuff. So 1, 2, 3 bee receptacles. Those may not be the last ones that we have to make. We're going to need a sturdy casing, which is the same thing. It's a forestry item. It's the same thing that we used for a lot of our forestry machines. And then we need this power module. So we're going to need a bunch of bronze gears. Let's see, we need two of those. Oh my gosh. So as you can see, this is a little bit pricey. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 bronze gears for this. Hooray! So we have our mutatron. Now we can use the mutatron as it is to get to do just what I said. If we want our industrious, we can use the mutatron to get our industrious. However, if we want to actually, if we go look at our chart again really quick, if we cross a noble if we cross a noble bee and a cultivated bee, wait, no, that's wrong. If we cross a common bee and a cultivated bee, we have a chance of getting a noble bee, but we also have a chance of getting a diligent bee. So what's going to happen if we use this guy? Well, we're going to get one or the other. So that's what the advanced one is for. The advanced one is going to allow us to pick. It's also twice as fast. 12 gears, we needed probably about a little over a stack of bronze. And there's our advanced mutatron. Okay, so now we can't use this guy until we make our mutagen producer. Again, we're going to need some more bronze gears. Hooray! So we have our mutagen producer and our advanced mutatron, and now we are going to need some labware. And we're going to need this for a lot of stuff. So should we do a stack? Let's do a stack. Okay, or part of a stack, because we ran out of glass. That's fine. There's our mutagen producer, and there's our advanced mutatron. So the first thing we're going to do is to produce mutagen. It is filling up with RF. Wow, it holds 5 million RF. That's crazy. It is currently empty. So if we look, I wonder if JEI, let's see, mute. Yes. Oh, no. JEI doesn't show us what we need for mutagen, but I do happen to know that redstone will give us mutagen. It gives us a small amount of mutagen. Glowstone does. I think it gives us about twice as much. And let's see what a stack gives us. If we had something like big reactors for Yellorium or IC2, I think it is, for for uranium, those would give us a ton, but we don't have either of those mods, so holy slowness. Oh boy, this thing requires a lot of RF. I think we need faster pipes. Alright, that's a little better. It's going a little faster, and our buffer is actually filling up now. Oop. What? Oh, it automatically put it over here. Okay, so one piece of redstone gave us 100 mutagen. And I believe glowstone gives us 200. And like Yellorium and uranium would give us 1,000. It would give us a full bucket. I think we have what we need for industrious. We don't have a majestic bee. Actually, let's work out the majestic. We need a cultivated and a noble. So, if we find... So we've got a noble princess. Now if we could find a cultivated drone... I have no idea. Let's see, that's cultivated noble. I wonder if it'll let us use mutts. If it'll let us use the non-purebreds. Let's try. Noble, cultivated. Majestic queen. Huh. That is way too easy. Nice. So we just pick, yeah, I want a majestic queen. So it requires 1 bucket of mutagen. So we're going to need, so that would be about 10 redstone. So that is something we can absolutely definitely afford. Hooray, we've got tons of freaking redstone. So we've got ourselves a majestic queen. We're pretty much guaranteed that. So we could just keep doing that until we get to our Imperial Bee. Nice. So let's see. So now we want to do our industrious. I think we have a diligent and an unwary. I think I already saw one when we were digging through here before. There's our unwary princess. And we just need a diligent drone. Diligent drone. Nice. And this is a hybrid. But as we just saw, that doesn't matter. Awesome. We got our majestic queen. The majestic queen has been eluding me. She has been eluding me for so long, so many hours. No more. Oh wait, that's not her. No more. There she is. A purebred. In fact, let's analyze this. Purebred majestic queen. That is way too easy. Alright, let's do that again. This time an unwary princess, a diligent drone, gives us an industrious queen. That is just too easy. Holy man, that's easy. Nice. Okay. So next step. So we've already done this. We combined a bunch of hive bees in the last episode, and we got a bunch of common bees. We combined a common bee with hive bees, and we got a bunch of cultivated. And we managed to get as far as industrious, but we didn't have a purebred industrious queen. We only had a drone. We had our diligent, we had our unwary. As you could see, we just used them, but they were hybrids. And now we have a majestic bee. We just need, we have a majestic queen. We just need a noble drone. And we are going to be all set. Noble, there we go. And it doesn't even matter. Oh, that's a purebred anyway. Look at that. So we were actually really close. We could almost breed these guys and see what happens. But I don't want to, because then we might end up losing our majestic queen. Oh boy, this is taking a while. I wonder if it would be faster if we used redstone blocks. I'm thinking no, but it might be worth a try. Oh wow, it is way faster. It takes the same amount of time. Holy crap. Okay, that's cool. I'm happy about that. This should jump up to 1700 right away. Hooray! Here comes our industrious queen. Oh, yes. And now we're going to take our majestic and our noble. Oh, wait, that's a queen. Okay, we have to make... We've got to get our princess out of this. Okay, so we have an industrious queen, and this industrious queen is going to produce pollen for us. It's also going to produce industrious, because it's pristine stock. It will forever produce industrious. Well, it's pristine stock, and it's purebred. So it will forever produce industrious princesses and drones and pollen. So here's what I want to do. I'll use the apiary for now, but we're going to stick this guy in here. And then, here's a little tip that I got from the comments. The Ender.io conduits, when you are in and out mode, when you go to extract and there is a self-feed option, self-feed enabled. And what that is going to do is it's going to automatically try to reinsert what it pulls out. What's cool about that is we've had all these separate, well, before I had separate chests hooked up to all these aviaries, and because we didn't want to mix our bees together, because we don't want to end up with our majestic bees crossbreeding with our industrious bees, because we want industrious bees purebred and we don't want them to get tainted. So this is going to allow us to just have it when it produces the princess and the drones. It's going to throw a princess and a drone back in there, and then everything else is going to end up going into this chest. So that way we can have a single chest as a drop chest and still make sure that our apiaries are only using the bees that they're producing. So they're only going to use the same kind of bees all the time. All right, let's do this. Let's make an industrial apiary. It's a lot of stuff that we've done already. Bronze gears, the bee receptacles, the sturdy casing, so a lot of bronze. We have this tropical queen. We're going to stick it in here, and she's not going to be happy, right? Because she needs temperature of warm and a humidity of damp, our climate control module, and an environmental whoa. That is a little bit expensive. Jungle emulation upgrade. Hooray! It's going to increase our energy consumption by 20%. There's a creeper on my map. It better not be in here. Nope. Must be underground. Temperature warm, humidity damp. Warm, damp. Oh, yes, and we need flowers. We're going to need vines or ferns. It's not working. I'm gonna have to look into this. It seems like it should be working. We've got a green X. I mean a green check. And the temperature is warm. The humidity is damp because of our jungle emulation upgrade. But that's okay. We can stick her in an alveary when we get to that point. Either I'm doing something wrong or maybe just something isn't fully implemented. Got our majestic princess and drones and some dripping combs, which I'm not particularly concerned with right now. Actually, I'm not even going to bother analyzing this because it doesn't matter. We've got our majestic princess and our noble drone, which is going to give us an imperial queen. Nice. Oh, and very quickly too. Look at that. Oh. That is awesome. Okay, so let's just do the same thing. I'm going to do it right here. I'm going to put my imperial queen in the apiary, and I'm going to set... Oh, look at that. She gives off little particle effects. I'm going to set this to in and out, self-feed enabled. Is she giving me regen? I think she's giving me regen. Well, that's cool. I had no idea. I did not know that the Imperial Queen gives you regen. That is pretty cool. And apparently it's called Beatific. The alveary is a 3x3x3. So it requires 27 blocks, and every block requires an alveary block. And then we have all these other options, but they all have an alveary block. So every alveator block is going to require 8 scented panels. And 8 times 27 is 216, so that means we're going to need 216 of these guys. 216 pollen clusters and royal jelly. And 108 buckets of honey. So I want to speed up the production a little bit here, so I'm going to make more of these. And I happen to have a cultivated and a common. And this is where I was showing you, or where I was talking about how it'll give you the option. So we can decide that we want a diligent, or we can decide that we want a noble, and we can pick the mutation that we want. I actually already have a noble over here, so I'm going to make this one a diligent. Check that out. Bam. A diligent queen. But now we have to wait for it to go through its life cycle. I'm going to try to get it filled up so that we have 3 imperial queens and 3 industrious going at the same time. I did run into a problem with this little feature that I was all excited about, the self-feed. It's not working right, so it just kept pulling it out and it wasn't bringing anything back in. So these kept emptying out, and then I have to manually grab them and throw them back in. So what I did is I just put this on a different channel. We've got a brown channel in and out, and then I've got another chest here, and this chest is also brown channel in and out. Another imperial queen, and we've got a diligent and an unwary drone. So now we can get another industrious. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this imperial queen, and I'm going to put it right here. And then I'm just going to switch this to be brown, just like that. So we're going to do in and out. Oops, brown. Always active. So now these 2 are going to be feeding this chest, and this chest is... Ooh, we already got 10 royal jelly. Is going to be feeding this. Alright, we're all filled up. We now have imperial queens over here, and all 3 of these, and industrial queens over here, and all 3 of those. So we're producing lots of royal jelly and lots of pollen, and everything is automated right now except for the frames. So the frames are dying off, but they're not being replaced. I have to do that manually. I don't have to. I could just leave it and it would just take longer. I have all these on the brown channel. I have all these on the green channel with the Ender IO conduits. And then what I've also done, I have this chest on the brown channel, this chest on the green channel, because we don't want to cross-pollinate these. Of course, we could just have 2 separate networks. I could, I could break this, and that would be just fine. It would work just fine. We wouldn't have to use the different colored channels. But I have this set to round robin because otherwise what's going to happen is all the drones are going to could potentially end up getting dumped into one apiary, and then we'll end up with princesses sitting in here without a drone, not doing anything, just waiting for a drone. So this guy, every time it gets a drone, it's going to put it in a different aviary, and it's going to cycle through. And the princesses, they can only accept 1 princess each anyway, so we don't really have to worry about that. But like if we take these imperial drones out, and we throw them in this chest, we should end up with 1 in each one. We didn't. I've always wondered why the heck anybody would want to downgrade their item conduits. What's the point? Well, the item conduits pull multiple items out at a time. So if we downgrade this, that would go in the extract. If we, instead of upgrading, we downgrade it so that it reduces the speed to 1 item per extraction. That should fix this problem with the drones ending up, got 5 of these, so we should end up with 2 with 2 and 1 with 1, right? One, 2, and 2. Hooray! So that is working. And then the other thing that I've done is I've set this priority to 1 for inserting, and these are all set to 0. So that way when this guy, when one of these guys dumps their drones, it'll end up going into the chest, which is then going to round robin to the others. That way we don't have to have this item upgrade on every single pipe. Hooray, so this is totally automated. I'm going to think about whether or not I want to automate the frames, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's going to be worth it at this point. It wouldn't be terribly difficult. All we'd have to do is we'd need a squeezer, we'd need our carpenter, and then we'd need an auto crafter. So we would pipe wood into the carpenter, we would pipe seeds into the squeezer, and then we would pipe out the impregnated sticks, and then we would have an auto crafter set up that takes string and impregnated sticks. I'm not sure if it's worth it, because you know what I'm going to do? I'm probably just going to let these run overnight. And, I mean, they're basically costing us nothing. That's, you know, that is really the beauty of bees, is that once you get this thing automated and set up, it's free. Like, we're producing free resources right now. You know, the bees, they're using the energy from the sun through the flowers, genetic sampler, and the genetic imprinter, also from Gendustry. These guys will allow us to, if we grab these little blank gene samples, to extract a gene from a bee. And we need labware, just like this. Let's grab some of this genetics labware. That's why there's two slots up here, one for the gene sample and one for the labware. It consumes the bee. And then it's going to just grab some trait randomly, and we have to hope. Nope. Humidity tolerance done. Okay, that is not that's not the trait we wanted. But basically, the idea is that we can get a bunch of traits that we want, and then we can combine. As long as they're from the same species, we can combine those into a genetic template. So we could do this. We can add as many of these to here as we want, and just keep crafting it again, up to 13 chromosomes. And then we put this in our genetic imprinter with some labware again. And then we put a bee in there. I'm not going to right now because I don't want this trait. But whatever stuff is missing, it's just not going to touch. But whatever chromosomes we have in here, it's going to replace whatever bee we put in here. It's going to replace those chromosomes with the ones that are in here. I went to the end and I grabbed myself a whole bunch of ender bees because I really want the nocturnal trait, because they have the nocturnal trait, which means lifespan longer. I definitely do not want that trait, which means that, well, obviously, it means that they'll go at night. I've got this set up for automation. I'm running on a server now, and I'm just going to let this run. And I'm getting about 1 stack per day. And we're going to need like 3 stacks of royal jelly and pollen for every alveary that we want to make. So I'd kind of like to speed this up a little bit. And I think one good way to do that would be to get, we definitely don't want the ends effect, would be to get the nocturnal trait. So what I did, I think I used them all now. Let's see. Yeah. So what I did is I set up an ender hive over here. And the reason I set it up over there is a couple things. One, it needs a cold biome. Although we do have a cold biome right here. This is actually boreal forest. We could put it there and it would work perfectly fine. However, the ender bees have one nasty trait, and that is that they cause the end effect, an effect that's called the end, which is why I'm hungry right now. So I put them over here in this cold forest, because they do need a cold biome. And I put this chest here, very far away from it, so that we can collect the mysterious combs, which I don't care about. We can get ender pearls from those, actually. Oops. But the reason this is here is because if we get too close, we just take damage. Just straight up damage. And it doesn't care about armor or anything like that. It'll kill you. Whoops. Especially if you do that. And you have to be like 7 or 8 blocks away. And then I've got a chunk loader here. So I'm hoping to just collect a ton of these drones and then throw them in. I mean, theoretically, you get a random trait when you run them through this thing, through the genetic sampler. There's 13 different possible genes that you can get, 13 different possible chromosomes that you can get. And one of those, in this case, is going to be well, actually, let's take a look at our queen over here. Hopefully she won't kill us before we get a chance. Okay, that goes away right away, but if we take a peek at her, we will see that she has a long lifespan. It would be nice to shorten that. Flower type and fertility. Oh, and she only produces one. Oh boy. Okay, so we may have to modify her as well. Territory large, effect ends. That's the effect that we're getting. That just causes straight up damage. Climate is cold, humidity normal. Diurnal, yes. Nocturnal, yes. So if we get this trait, and you know, on average, if we do 13 of them, we should get it. But you know, there's certainly no guarantees. Yeah, I got the shorter lifespan. I got 2 of them. These guys also have a fertility of 3. I found a bunch of these guys. So hopefully we'll get that. Speed slowest. Nope. Don't want that. Wait. We can just throw these in a furnace and it'll clear them for us. Effect none. Oh yeah, we want that. That'll get rid of that end effect. So lifespan short, effect none. Hooray, we got it. Fertility 3. Nice. So now we take this guy, this genetic template, and we get all the traits that we want. So we want a shorter lifespan. There's 3 of them, so we can do it in the small crafting grid. Oh no, we don't want that one. We want fertility 3. Oh no, there's just 2. Oh yes, and the... Oh, did I get rid of it? Effect none. So there we go. 3 chromosomes, lifespan shorter, effect none, fertility 3. Okay, so I went out and grabbed our Ender Queen. So here's our genetics imprinter. So we should be able to put this in here, and this in here, and it should leave all the ones that are red that are missing. It should leave those all as they are. Hooray! I wonder if she's going to lose her progress. Oh, she didn't even lose her progress. Now we can stand here and it doesn't hurt. Hooray! So I'm going to actually move this back into our greenhouse. I finally got it. Never sleeps true. That took a really long time, man. I burned up a lot of these Ender Queens, or Ender Drones. What do I got here? Fertility 3, okay. I just kept getting the same stuff over and over again. I don't know what the heck was going on with that, but I finally got Never Sleeps. She's diurnal, meaning daytime. Nocturnal, no. So it takes a labware, a bunch of RF. And now, if we look at her again... Nocturnal, yes. Hooray! Nice, it's nighttime, and our bees are working. Our Imperial ones, I haven't done these yet, but what I did is I did 1 Imperial Queen, and then I did, or 3 Imperial Queens, and then I did 6 drones, just so that we have 2 drones in each one that have that trait, so that it doesn't end up mixing with the other ones. So after our princess comes back, it'll take one of the drones, there'll still be 1 left, and it should end up stacking with the drones that she produces. Well, I found a new buddy. I went all the way over to this village way over here, and I picked this guy up. He's the apiarist. He's of course a forestry villager. I also have the other guy, the arborist. It says armorer, but it's not. I've already made a couple trades with him and opened up a couple new things, but I am trying to get these. Ooh, and it's only 1 emerald. Proven frames. I want a bunch of these. 4, 5, 6. These have 720 uses, so this will be great for letting this go overnight. Because these guys only have 240 uses, or durability, or whatever. I think we're going to do something different in the next episode. I haven't decided what yet. I think we're going to play around with Botania a little bit, actually, and just make some cool stuff with Botania and just see what some of the end game stuff Botania has to offer, since we've kind of already reached the end game with Botania, and we haven't gotten all the cool stuff yet. So we'll work on doing that in the next episode, and then either that or we may play around with Tristan in the next episode too with Reliquary. My son, Slender TT, is going to be visiting us from a faraway land. He's coming to this server just to play around for a little while, and we're probably going to play with the Reliquary mod in that episode. So I think that'll be fun for him and fun for me, and hopefully fun for you to watch as well. So I hope you join me for that, and I hope you join me when we come back to our bees and set up our alvearies and start working toward getting some really cool stuff from our bees. And once we get this all set up, like I said, it's all going to be free. It's going to be free stuff. And what I'm really hoping to get eventually is nether quartz, so that we don't have to keep going into the nether for that. So we'll just basically have a supply of nether quartz that'll be free, and it'll just be something that we're going to set it up, and then we're going to forget about it, and we're just going to have a flow of nether quartz coming in until we start overflowing in nether quartz, and then I'll come and disable it. But I do hope you join me for that. If you did enjoy this, please don't forget to click the like button. If you have any questions or comments or whatever, please feel free to leave those in the comment section below. And I hope you join me next time. Thanks for watching. Hello, thanks for joining me today. This is Danny, and welcome back to my weird rendering house. What the? Every alveator block is